Captain Do-Won Park stood at the command center of the EDS Aegis, watching Saturn's rings glitter through the main viewport. The massive battleship, humanity's first true deep space vessel, hummed with power. Its quantum drive core pulsed steadily, ready for another test run. Drive systems at 98%, Captain, reported Engineer Sunmai, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. This will be our 5th successful test today. Do-Won nodded, feeling proud of both his ship and crew. The Aegis represented the best of human engineering, sleek, powerful, and built with defensive capabilities that had never been tested in real combat. He hoped they would never need to. Begin test sequence, he ordered, his voice calm and steady. Standard jump, 5 light minutes towards Saturn's outer rings. First Officer Jia-Yun cleared her throat. Sir, I'm picking up some unusual readings at the edge of our sensor range. Before Do-Won could respond, space itself seemed to tear open. 3 ships emerged from what looked like ripples in the fabric of reality. They were smaller than the Aegis, but their designs were completely alien, all sharp angles and glowing purple energy patterns. Unknown vessels, announced Tai-ho from the weapons station, his voice tense but controlled. No match in our database. They're charging weapons, sir. Do-Won's training kicked in. Raise shields, all hands to battle stations, communications, broadcast peace signals on all frequencies. But the alien ships didn't wait for introductions. Green energy beams lanced out from their vessels, striking the Aegis's shields. The massive battleship shuddered, but held firm. Shields holding at 95%, reported Sunmai, sounding almost surprised. Their weapons are powerful, but our defensive systems are handling it. Do-Won gripped his command chair. Return fire, asked Tai-ho, his finger hovering over the weapon's controls. No, Do-Won said firmly. Not yet. Keep broadcasting peace signals. Maybe they're just scared. The alien ships spread out, trying to surround the Aegis. Their attacks continued, more intense now. The bridge crew watched in amazement as their shields easily absorbed each hit. Sir, called out Communications Officer Dae-sung, we're receiving a transmission. It's in multiple languages. The computer is translating. A harsh voice filled the bridge. Unregistered vessel, you have entered Galactic Council space. Your ship design matches no known species. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. Do-Won stood up. This is Captain Do-Won Park of the Earth Defense Ship Aegis. We are on a peaceful mission testing our drive systems. We mean no harm. The response was immediate. Earth is not a registered world. Your technology level exceeds permitted development guidelines. Prepare to be boarded. They're launching boarding pods, Tai-ho reported. And their main weapons are charging for a stronger attack. Do-Won made a quick decision. Tactical, target their engines only. Minimum power. Show them what we can do, but don't destroy their ships. The Aegis's point defense system came to life. Precise energy pulses struck the incoming boarding pods, disabling them without destruction. Then, with surgical precision, the human battleship fired 3 quick shots. Each alien vessel's engine section sparked and went dark. All 3 ships disabled, reported Tai-ho. Their weapons are offline. No casualties detected. The bridge fell silent. Humanity's first contact with alien life had turned into a space battle, and they had won without even trying hard. Sir, said Jia-Yun softly, what do we do now? Do-Won sat back in his chair, looking at the disabled alien ships. Now we help them. Prepare emergency teams. We'll show them that humans don't just win fights, we also help those in need. As the crew prepared rescue operations, Do-Won couldn't help but smile. The Galactic Council, whoever they were, had just learned an important lesson. Humanity might be new to the galactic stage, but they were far from helpless. Send another message, he ordered Dae-sung. Tell them we're ready to talk whenever they are. And inform Earth Command. It looks like we're not alone anymore. And we just made quite an entrance. The Aegis moved forward, its massive hull gleaming in Saturn's reflected light. Behind it, 3 alien ships floated powerless, their crews about to learn that their first assumption about humanity had been very, very wrong. The medical bay of the EDS Aegis buzzed with activity as the crew treated their unexpected guests. First Officer Jai-Yun Lee watched through the observation window as human doctors worked alongside medical robots to help the injured alien crew members. "They look almost like tall blue humans," she said to Captain Do-Won, who stood beside her, "except for the silver markings on their skin. And they're just as confused as we are," Do-Won replied, watching one of the alien officers stare in wonder at the advanced medical equipment. "Weapons Officer Tae-ho, what's the status of their ships?" Tae-ho looked up from his tablet. "Our repair teams report their engines can be fixed in about 6 hours. The damage was clean, just like we planned." A commotion at the medical bay entrance drew their attention. One of the alien captains, taller than the others with elaborate silver markings, had finally regained consciousness. The translator devices hummed to life as the alien spoke. "I am Fleet Commander Rax of the Galactic Council Patrol," the alien announced, trying to sound dignified despite lying on a medical bed. "You have committed an act of war against the Council by developing forbidden technologies." Jai-Yun stepped forward. "With respect, Commander, you fired on us first. We only disabled your ships after you ignored our peace broadcasts." The alien's eyes widened. "Those were not peace broadcasts. Your ship's energy signature matched known pirate vessels. We followed standard Council protocols. Shoot first, ask questions later." Tae-ho muttered, "Some protocol." Do-Won raised his hand for quiet. "Commander Rax, let's be clear. We didn't know about any Galactic Council or its protocols. Earth developed its technology independently. The Aegis is our first deep space vessel." "Impossible." Rax tried to sit up, then winced. "No species develops quantum shielding before joining the Council. It's never happened." Engineer Sun Mai entered the medical bay, carrying a data tablet. "Captain, I've analyzed their weapon systems. Their technology is advanced, but it's different. They focus on raw power. Our systems are more efficient." "Show them," Do-Won ordered. Sun Mai activated a holographic display, showing the battle data. "Your weapons used enough energy to destroy 3 ships our size. But our shields recycled that energy instead of just blocking it. That's why we could disable your ships with minimal power use." The alien officers watched in silence as the display showed their powerful attacks being absorbed and converted by the Aegis' shields. Commander Rax's expression shifted from disbelief to something close to respect. "Your species," he said slowly, "achieved this without any outside help. Earth has always faced challenges alone." Jai-Yun explained, "We learned to make the most of what we have. Efficiency over power, defense over offense." Tae-ho added, "We could have destroyed your ships in the first exchange. But that's not our way. We protect ourselves, but we don't escalate unless we must." The medical bay fell quiet as the aliens processed this information. Finally, Commander Rax spoke again, his tone different now. "In 10,000 cycles, no species has joined the Council with such capabilities," he said. "The Council, they will not know how to handle this." "Then they'll learn," Do-Won replied firmly, "just as we're learning now. Commander, once your crew is healed and your ships are repaired, we invite you to return with us to Earth. Meet our leaders, see who we really are. You would trust us after we attacked you." Jai-Yun smiled. "Trust has to start somewhere. Besides, you've seen what the Aegis can do if you try anything hostile again." The alien commander looked around the medical bay, at his crew being treated by human doctors, at the advanced technology humming quietly around them. Finally, he nodded. "I will contact the Council," he said. "They must know that humanity is different. You are not what we expected." "We get that a lot," Do-Won said with a small smile. Now shall we discuss proper first contact protocols? Ones that maybe don't involve shooting first. As the humans and aliens began their first real dialogue, the Aegis continued its orbit around Saturn. Its quantum core hummed softly, shields ready but not armed, a symbol of humanity's unique approach to joining the galactic community, prepared for war, but always reaching for peace first. The Grand Council chamber was unlike anything Han Bin Cho had ever seen. The massive circular room stretched up hundreds of meters, with floating platforms holding representatives from over 50 alien species. As Earth's hastily chosen diplomat, he stood on the central platform, trying to stay calm. Behind him, Captain Du Won and First Officer Jai Yun watched as council members argued among themselves. The EDS Aegis floated outside the massive space station, its presence causing quite a stir among the alien ships. Order. We will have order. The council leader, a tall being with crystalline skin, struck a glowing rod against their podium. The chamber gradually fell silent. The humans have broken our most sacred laws, shouted a reptilian counselor. They developed quantum technology without supervision. They defended themselves against an unprovoked attack, countered another alien, this one looking like a floating cloud of purple gas. Our own patrols fired first. Han Bin stepped forward, his voice steady. If I may speak. He waited for the council leader's nod. Earth didn't know about your laws because we didn't know about you. We built the Aegis to explore, not to fight. Engineering Chief Sun Mi Kang, who had been quietly working on her tablet, spoke up. With permission, I can show how we developed our technology. The council leader waved a crystalline hand. Proceed. Sun Mi activated a holographic display in the center of the chamber. It showed Earth's technological progress, from early space flights to the development of quantum physics. We took a different path than most, she explained. Instead of focusing on weapon power, we studied energy efficiency. Our shields don't just block attacks, they learn from them. The chamber erupted again, but this time with scientific curiosity. Several council members floated closer to examine the data. Impossible, muttered a bird-like alien. They achieved in decades what took us centuries. Captain Du Won stepped forward. Because we had to. Earth isn't an easy world. We faced problems that needed new solutions. And now they have a ship that can defeat 3 patrol vessels without destruction, Commander Rax added from his platform. Yet they chose to help us instead. The council leader raised their crystalline hands. This brings us to our core problem. Humanity has proven too capable, too quickly. Some fear this means you are too dangerous to join the council. Han Bin saw his chance, or perhaps we're exactly what the council needs. He gestured to the chamber. You have 50 species here, but they all developed the same way, followed the same rules. Earth offers something new. New is dangerous, hissed the reptilian counselor. New is necessary, countered Jai Yun. The patrol ships attacked us because they didn't recognize our design. How many other peaceful species might you have scared away with these protocols? The chamber grew quiet as her words sank in. The council leader studied the humans thoughtfully. Perhaps, they said slowly, we have become too set in our ways, too fearful of difference. They turned to address the whole chamber. Who here can say their first contact with the council was perfect? Who never made mistakes? One by one, council members began sharing stories of their own rough beginnings. The tension in the room started to ease. Sun Mi spoke up again. We don't want to change the council. We want to add to it. Earth's technology, combined with your experience, could benefit everyone. And what guarantee do we have that humans won't become a threat? Asked the reptilian counselor, though less hostile now. Captain Du Won smiled. The same guarantee we have that you won't threaten us. Trust and mutual respect. The Aegis could have destroyed those patrol ships. Instead, we helped repair them. The council leader nodded slowly. A valid point. Perhaps it is time for the council to evolve. They raised their voice. I propose a vote. Shall we begin formal discussions with Earth about Council membership? As the voting began, Han Bin watched the holographic tallies appear above each platform. Slowly but surely, green lights of approval outnumbered the red lights of rejection. It seems, the Council leader announced, that humanity has found its place among the stars, not through conquest or submission, but through wisdom and restraint. As the chamber filled with the various sounds of alien approval, Han Bin exchanged proud looks with his fellow humans. Earth's first step into galactic politics had been unusual, but then again, when had humans ever done things the normal way? The warning sirens caught everyone by surprise. In the middle of the council session, red lights began flashing throughout the massive space station. Tactical Officer Yoon-gi Bak's voice crackled through Captain Do-won's communicator. Captain, multiple hostile ships just dropped out of quantum space. Do-won turned to the council leader. How many defense ships do you have ready? The crystalline being's face darkened. Most of our fleet is dealing with a crisis in the outer rim. We have only 2 patrol ships docked. Through the chamber's massive windows, they watched as 15 ships appeared. They were a mix of different designs, all modified with heavy weapons. Their hulls were marked with burn patterns and battle scars. Pirates. Commander Rax spat the word. They haven't dared attack the council station in 1,000 cycles. The pirate ships opened fire. The station's shields flickered under the assault. Council members began panicking, their platforms swooping in all directions. The Aegis is the only combat-ready ship in range, Jae-yun said, looking at Do-won. They both knew what this meant. Do-won touched his communicator. All hands to battle stations. Yoon-gi, plot and intercept course. Engineer Sun-ma, divert power to shields and weapons. Sir, Yoon-gi responded, these pirates are using council technology. They know the weaknesses of standard shields. Good thing we're not standard then. Do-won turned to the council leader. Get your people to safety. We'll handle this. The EDS Aegis moved into position between the pirates and the station. Its quantum shields hummed to life, glowing with a soft blue light. Enemy ships are spreading out. Tahoe reported from weapons. They're trying to surround us, just like the patrol ships did. Do-won smiled. Let them try. Yoon-gi, implement defense pattern Delta. The Aegis moved with surprising grace for its size. Instead of staying still like a normal battleship, it spun and weaved between enemy shots. Each blast that did hit was absorbed by the shields, making them glow brighter. Shields at 90% and charging. Sun-ma reported. We're gaining more power from their attacks than we're losing. The pirates seemed confused by this new tactic. Their formation began to break as the Aegis continued its dance through space. Target their weapons first. Do-won ordered. Disable, don't destroy. Let's show them the difference between power and precision. Taeho's fingers flew across his console. The Aegis's weapon systems fired short, precise bursts. One by one, the pirate ship's main guns went dark. Unknown energy spike. Jae-yun called out. They're charging something big. The largest pirate ship's bow split open, revealing a massive cannon. Energy gathered at its tip, growing brighter and brighter. That's a banned council weapon, Rax shouted from the station. It could tear through any normal shield. Do-won's voice remained calm. Yoon-gi, bring us about. Face them head-on. Sun-ma, all power to forward shields. The pirate ship fired. A beam of pure energy, bigger than the Aegis itself, shot toward them. Everyone on the council station held their breath. The beam hit the Aegis's shields and stopped. The blue barrier bent inward but held firm. Energy crackled across its surface, being absorbed and recycled. Shields at 120%. Sun-ma shouted excitedly. We've never had this much power before. Thank you for the energy donation. Do-won broadcast to the pirates. Now, let us show you what we can do with it. The Aegis's own weapons powered up, charged by the pirates' own attack. A series of precise shots disabled the remaining pirate ship's engines and weapons. Within minutes, the threat was over. In the council chamber, silence fell as everyone stared at the scene before them. 15 of the most dangerous pirate ships in the galaxy, defeated without a single loss of life. How? The council leader's crystalline form sparkled in amazement. How did you know that would work? We didn't, Do-One admitted. But Earth ships are built to protect, not just to fight. Sometimes the best defense is a good defense. As council security ships arrived to arrest the pirates, Do-One watched his crew work. They had just proved that humanity's approach to space combat wasn't just different, it was revolutionary. Captain, Jai-Yun said softly, I think we just changed galactic warfare forever. Do-One nodded. Let's hope we changed it for the better. Science officer Mina Yang stared at her screen in disbelief. She had been analyzing the captured pirate ship's technology, and what she found made her stomach turn. Captain, she called to Do-One, who was overseeing the prisoner transfer. You need to see this immediately. The captured pirates were being led to the council station's holding cells. Their ships, now powerless, floated in a neat line behind the Aegis like ducklings following their mother. Do-One walked over to Mina's station, followed by First Officer Jai-Yun. What did you find? These aren't normal pirate ships, Mina explained, pointing to her analysis. The quantum signatures match council military vessels, high-level ones, but someone tried to hide this fact. Jai-Yun leaned closer. Are you saying these are actually council ships? We're council ships, Mina corrected. Look at the manufacturing dates. These were reported destroyed 3 years ago in a supposed accident. Captain Do-One's face hardened. Send this data to Commander Rax. I want to know if he can confirm it. Within minutes, the blue-skinned commander arrived at the Aegis's bridge, his silver markings glowing with agitation. This is impossible, he said, looking at Mina's findings. These ships were lost with all hands in the outer rim. Clearly not, Do-One replied. Someone wanted these ships to disappear. The question is, who has enough power in the council to hide something this big? Before anyone could answer, Tactical Officer Yoongae's console lit up with warnings. Captain, 3 council battleships just jumped in. They're charging weapons. Not again, Jai-Yun muttered. Don't they ever just say hello? The new ships were massive, easily twice the size of the Aegis. Their weapons looked similar to the band cannon the pirates had used. A transmission came through. A stern voice filled the bridge. This is High Commander Vex. By order of the Security Council, surrender the pirate vessels. This is an internal council matter. Do-One shared a look with Commander Rax. The alien officer nodded slightly. High Commander, Do-One replied. Those ships are evidence in an ongoing investigation. We can't release them. This is not a request, human. The High Commander's voice turned cold. Those ships contain sensitive information. Stand down, or we will remove you. Engineer Sunmai spoke up from her station. Captain, their weapons are the same type as the pirates. Our shields know how to handle them now. Do-One smiled. High Commander, perhaps we should discuss why council military ships were disguised as pirates. A long pause followed. Then, without warning, all 3 council battleships opened fire. But the Aegis was ready. Its shields, already programmed with data from the previous battle, absorbed the attacks even more efficiently than before. The energy readings actually made Mina laugh. Their weapons are just making us stronger, she reported. Shield power is climbing past 150%. Do-One's voice carried across space. High Commander, let's be clear. We've already defeated 15 of these ships. Do you really want to find out what we can do with 3? You don't understand what you're interfering with, the High Commander snarled. The Council must maintain order by attacking your own station. Commander Rax suddenly broadcast on all channels. I just sent proof of these ships' true identity to every council member. The Security Council has some explaining to do. The attacking ships stopped firing. On Mina's screen, their power readings began to drop. "They're powering down," Yungai reported. "Looks like they don't want to explain why they're attacking a diplomatic vessel in front of the whole council." Do-won turned to Mina. "Send all your findings to the council chambers, every detail. It's time for some truth in galactic politics." As the High Commander's ships retreated, the bridge crew of the Aegis watched in satisfaction. What had started as a simple first contact had unveiled corruption at the highest levels of galactic government. "You know," Jai Yun said to no one in particular, "I don't think Earth is going to just quietly join the council anymore." "No," Do-won agreed, watching the council station light up with activity as the news spread. "I think we're going to help change it instead." Mina looked at her captain. "Sir, should we be worried about making such powerful enemies so quickly?" "Making enemies wasn't our choice," Do-won replied. "But showing the galaxy a better way. That's exactly why we came to space." Communications officer Dae-sung Choi hadn't slept in 20 hours. His eyes were red from staring at encryption patterns, but he couldn't stop. Not when he was this close. "Captain," he called out, his voice rough from too much coffee. "I've broken through their security codes. You need to hear this." The bridge crew of the Aegis gathered around his station. Even Commander Rex joined them, his silver markings dim with exhaustion. "I found years of hidden transmissions between certain council members," Dae-sung explained, playing the first recording. "They'd been suppressing other species development, not just humans, dozens of civilizations." The recordings filled the bridge. Different voices, all discussing ways to keep emerging species from growing too powerful. Captain Do-won's face grew darker with each message. "They sabotaged their own first contact missions," Dae-sung continued. "Made them aggressive on purpose. Most species surrendered immediately, accepting council control out of fear. But we didn't surrender," Jai Yun said softly. "We showed them our shields instead." Commander Rex stepped forward, his blue skin pale. "This goes against everything the council claims to stand for. We were supposed to guide new species, not control them." "There's more," Dae-sung added. "The pirate attacks. They were organized by a secret group within the council. They called themselves the Guardians of Order. They used these attacks to scare younger species into accepting protection." Do-won shook his head. "Protection they controlled, making every new species dependent on them." "Exactly," Dae-sung nodded. "And any species that developed too quickly." He played another recording. A cold voice filled the bridge. "The Zentari were developing quantum technology too fast. Their son's natural disaster solved that problem. The Guardians maintain order, at any cost." Horror filled Commander Rax's face. "The Zentari. Their entire system was lost. Billions died in that solar flare." "It wasn't natural," Dae-sung said grimly. "They had the technology to cause it, and they've done it before." The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. The council, meant to unite species, had become a tool for controlling them. "They're going to try to stop us from revealing this," Tactical Officer Yungai said. "Those 3 battleships earlier, that was just the beginning." As if on cue, the sensors lit up. "Multiple quantum signatures detected," Yungai reported. "Big ones. They're trying to surround us." Through the viewport, they watched as quantum rifts opened. Council battleships appeared, at least 20 of them, all heavily armed. "The Guardians are coming to silence us," Commander Rex said. "They'll destroy both us and the station to keep this secret." Do-won stood straight, his decision already made. "Dae-sung, broadcast everything. All channels, all frequencies. Send it to every species in council space." "Sir, they'll try to jam us," Dae-sung warned. "Then we'll protect you while you transmit. Engineer Sunmai, divert all power to communications and shields. Tahoe, defensive positions only. We're not here to fight a war." The enemy ships drew closer, their weapons charged, ready to erase any trace of the truth. But the Aegis wasn't alone anymore. From behind the Council station, the 3 patrol ships that had first attacked them moved into position beside them. Commander Rax's voice came over the comm. Earth showed us a better way. We stand with them. More ships appeared, species that had suffered under the Guardians' control, now ready to fight back. The Aegis's transmission reached further and further, revealing decades of lies. "They're firing," Yungai called out. The space around them lit up with energy beams, but the Aegis's shields held firm, protecting not just themselves but the other ships as well. Each attack made them stronger, just as Earth's hardships had made humanity stronger. Transmission at 70%, Daesung reported. The truth is getting out. They can't stop it now. Do-1 watched as more ships arrived, not to fight, but to witness. The Guardians' perfect system of control was crumbling, all because humanity had done something unexpected. They had chosen to defend rather than attack, to reveal rather than hide. "What happens next?" Jayun asked quietly. "Next." Do-1 smiled. "Next, we help build something better. Something true to what the Council was meant to be." The Aegis stood its ground, a symbol of hope for every species that had been kept down. The truth was emerging, and the galaxy would never be the same. 3 months after the battle at the Council station, the Great Chamber looked very different. Gone were the floating platforms that had kept species separate. Now everyone sat together on the same level, a symbol of the new equality. Captain Do-1 Park stood at the center of the chamber, his crew beside him. The Aegis floated outside, its blue quantum shields glowing softly in the starlight. But it wasn't alone anymore. Ships of similar design now patrolled Council space, built with shared knowledge between Earth and other worlds. "The last of the Guardians has been arrested," announced the new Council leader, a younger member of the crystalline species. "Their crimes have been documented, and their victims will receive justice." Commander Rax, now serving as head of the reformed Council security force, stepped forward. "Thanks to Earth's shield technology, we've had 0 casualties in space incidents this quarter. The new first contact protocols are working perfectly." Do-1 smiled, remembering how differently his own first contact had gone. "And how many new species have we welcomed?" 5 in the past month alone," Jayun answered, reading from her tablet. "All developing their own unique technologies. No more forced compliance with standard designs." Engineer Sun Mai raised her hand. "The technology sharing program is exceeding expectations. Different species are combining their knowledge in ways we never imagined. The Zentari survivors are even helping design solar protection systems." The chamber hummed with positive energy. Representatives from dozens of species talked freely, sharing ideas instead of hiding them. Young civilizations sat with older ones, each contributing their unique perspectives. Earth's approach to defense changed everything, the Council leader said. "We learned that true strength comes from protecting and lifting each other up, not controlling through fear." Daesung, who had become Earth's primary communications expert for the Council, spoke up. "The Open Channels program has eliminated most piracy. It's hard to be a space pirate when every ship in range offers to help you instead of running away. And those who still try," Tactical Officer Yungai added with a grin, "find that their weapons just make our shields stronger. Word gets around." The Council leader raised their crystalline hands for attention. "It is time for the final vote. The proposal before us is to establish the new Defense Through Unity program, with Earth and the Aegis as its founding members. All in favor?" The chamber filled with light as representatives signaled their approval. No more secret councils, no more hidden agendas. Every vote was open and counted. "Motion passed," the leader announced. "Captain Park, your ship and crew will train the first class of the new combined defense force. Show them how humanity's way can work for everyone." Do-1 looked at his crew, proud of how far they'd come. What had started as a simple test flight near Saturn had changed the galaxy forever. "There will be challenges ahead," he said to the chamber. "Some worlds may still choose aggression over cooperation. But now we face those challenges together, each bringing our own strengths. Speaking of strengths, Sun Mai interjected, the combined research team has just finished the first prototype of the new quantum drive. It uses principles from 6 different species. It's twice as efficient as anything we had before. The council leader nodded in approval. This is what we should have been all along. Not controllers, but collaborators. Not conquerors, but colleagues. As the session ended, Do-1 and his crew walked to the great viewing window. The Aegis's quantum shields shimmed with a new pattern, the result of improvements suggested by other species. You know, Jai-Yun said thoughtfully, when we first launched, I thought we were just testing a new drive system. Instead, we drove change throughout the galaxy, Taiho replied. Not bad for a test flight. Do-1 watched as ships of various designs moved peacefully through space. Some used Earth-style quantum shields, others had developed new systems inspired by them. All worked together, protecting rather than threatening. The galaxy wasn't ready for humanity's first battleship, Commander Rax said, joining them at the window. But maybe that's exactly what the galaxy needed. As the stars shone beyond the station, the crew of the Aegis stood together, representatives of a species that had chosen to defend rather than destroy, to share rather than hoard, to lift others up rather than hold them down. The galaxy had changed, and this was just the beginning. Ready for another patrol? Do-1 asked his crew. They all nodded, eager to see what new discoveries and friendships awaited them in the reformed council space. After all, the best adventures start when you're willing to protect not just yourself, but everyone else too.